I realize when it comes to business, a lot of us have such a huge ego, especially the people who think of something so great. They know it has potential to go really, really far, like the greats. Um, and those who really just know who they are, but they know it needs to be shown through creation. It really adds to the ego and it makes you feel like I have to do this. I have to go. If I don't see my vision out, it won't be as great as like I feel like it should be. And in a sense, you could say that. You can definitely say that. But a lot of us don't even actually want to do the back end things that are required of us for a business. And I believe that is how I'm just connecting this. I believe that is how the older generation and the younger generation is supposed to work now. We love to go against each other and say we each have like different ways of operating, and one is lazy, one is this. No, we just haven't connected the dots of we need to use that to our advantage. Every time you have somebody in a company and it seems like this person doesn't know how to do this person, you're using them for the wrong thing. The older generation already built the systems. They already worked their way up to create the systems. The younger generation has the great ideas. I was told a story about basically how one of these coaches in like the college basketball team, they didn't want to pick up a player that went on to be a two-time All-American or All-Star champion in the NBA. And that goes to show the older generation sometimes don't respect the younger generation's opinions, but we have an eye. So the way we work together is we bring the older generations with the systems and stuff. We make them do the heavy lifting. We have to be the ones who are creatively in charge, and then that's when things could go boom, skyrocket. The companies that are currently here right now, when it comes to larger companies, they're only here and they're still here by the grace of the brand they already built. However, the newer generations are increasingly getting intolerant of all the old shit, especially like things like who that have been here for a long time, but they just don't get it because they don't use younger people. They continue to recycle the people that have been there, recycle their kids, and then create an environment of just inside the box thinking, when it's like, no, everything on this earth can be merged in some type of way. You just have to find a way to coexist. So when it comes to these things, when it comes to the older generation within business versus the younger generation in business, we kind of make it like a millennial versus Gen Z thing, when it's like, no, it's a millennial and Gen Z thing. They think we're so lazy because we just don't want to do the things that we already saw them do. We want to do it different. But we also, well, thanks to TikTok and social media and stuff, we also don't have the capacity to even focus on these things, especially with just having to survive, keep up. It's just a lot going on. Time is going faster, and we just don't want to create the companies. I've come to this realization because of my dear boyfriend. I literally I'm seeing him do the behind the scene work for his brand E-Star. I'm seeing him do the behind the scenes work. They've built it so far. I've learned so much through just observing and helping. I think when it comes to like the brand shit, I've come up with this idea called the Stash. It's a digital time capsule basically at anywhere you go, and you get to leave and drop things behind at any location. And I like came up with this one day knowing I would come up with that idea. I knew it. I already knew it. I told myself I'm going to come up with something that is just so brilliant. And I allowed my brain to go there. It went there. It came April 2025. It came, or March. No, it was April. I started April 2025, and I immediately knew what to do. However, I did something bold, and I asked for $1 million. This was naive, like not naive me, but this was a year ago. You change so much in a year. This was me, because I change my opinions on everything once I get new information, because I feel like that's what everybody's just supposed to do, and you can't stay in the box forever. I asked for that amount because I genuinely knew the idea is worth way more than that. I genuinely knew this is the way the world is kind of going. It is going this way. And I know that the amount that's needed for even the beginning stages, it's around that much. Maybe half of it, but you still need the other half to go on for a few years, focus solely on that and the lifestyle that's behind it. And the thing, like, it's not an expensive lifestyle behind it. I wouldn't do that, but the things that the mechanisms, testing things, going back and forth with, like, we have to get a bunch of permits, like a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just kind of preparing for that, and I know that they know that. So basically, I asked a few investors. 2 of them said that they love the idea, but they just wanted to see that it would be like not a full bust. Like, they wanted to see community behind it. Cool. I need to build a community now. However, initially when I started this project, I was asking them for this large amount of money as the person who's going to build the team, who's going to do this, who's going to do that, and just work for the operations behind the scenes. But as I've been learning through eStar, I've realized I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to do that. Kudos to them, because they do a great job. But I just don't want to do it. And I realized you really need to ask yourself, what is the goal of what I'm doing? Because my goal, I want my farm. I want a farm with some horses, my dogs, my chickens. Like, I want a farm. So I don't want to have to sit here for the rest of my life. My brain doesn't even work like that. Like, I just can't do it. My brain doesn't work like that. I just don't want to sit here having to do stuff that I would just get a team to do anyways. I would just be in charge. But that's the ego, because that's me thinking like, oh, this has to be perfect. This won't come out the way I want it to, because I know these people gonna fuck it up. So be it. Now, I know when it comes to like me allowing a team to do stuff for me, I genuinely would have to oversee it. That's why I would want to keep complete creative control. So I realized through working with eStar, well, like helping and stuff, literally, I would want to keep full creative control, but everyone else could do everything else. I trust you because you already had the mechanisms to do it. But it would have to be a company that's like already had the stuff, and it looks like the systems work with my brain. So, but you see how I switched that within 1 year, and some people just want to ride it out because the ego is telling them, like, even selling my idea, because to do something like that, I would have to sell the idea to the company and allow them to make money from it so they can want to do it, which is cool. Or maybe I could find a way to not do that. But it's more, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care if I sell it. The whole goal is the farm. I want the farm and to take care of my peoples and take care of myself. I don't care about an idea. You know how many great ideas I have? I have so many ideas I'm gonna sell because I don't give a fuck. Like, as long as I keep a piece of my own pie, take it. Like, why are we so attached to the ego? There's so many people that have done so many great things, and the generation now do not know them. Just live for yourself in the time that you're here. Like, it's just so crazy. But I'm so happy I'm learning these things so I can share it with you guys. I have this gum. It has a lot of blue 4 and 7 in here. Let me see the nutrition facts. Yup. Galaxy rocks. I just got it because it was blue raspberry. They had strawberry everything. I'm like, bruh, I want a little spice in my life. Okay, yeah, like, it's a thing of like, why? Why do we allow our ego to just take over? And you know, I do think it stems backwards for even black people as a whole. It's a thing of like just wanting to be independent and prove to the world that we could do this ourselves. I don't give a fuck. As long as I'm not doing nothing that is degrading me or making me feel like less of who I am, I'm cool. But I'm also not going to sell myself short because I know what it's worth, you know? So it's like, I feel like if you just have that approach, you're cool. Like, ain't nothing to working with people. Half the time, your own people don't even want to help you. So it's like, and then we laugh at each other for not having. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But I just think, yeah, check your ego. Especially when it comes to business, check your ego. There's nothing wrong with admitting to yourself that you were wrong. You were fucking wrong. You were wrong. And you don't have to just... It's like we love to lie to ourselves, and it does nothing for us. You were wrong. You fucked up. Made a shitty mistake. Fix it. Like, and we be having the answers, but we just sit in it. Like, we sit in the wrongness of it all and the shame because it's easier than actually feeling like you tried something and you fucked up. It's really shameful. I mean, I get it though, but it's like, bro. And when it comes to ego and it comes to like not wanting to do certain things because you feel like you have to. I remember talking to this photographer on some real shit, like, and I was young. I was a lot of years younger than this person. And he's just like, I'm like, you know, you could just get a team for that. And he's like, yeah, I can, but I want to learn it first and then get a team, and I want to do it myself because I grew it myself. And I'm just like, bro, you could just hear the ego in it. And it's like, you're still at your mom's house. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that at all because I'm still at mine. But it's just a thing of, why do you care? If getting a team gets you to, it was for videography, for a video. And it's like, I understand if you want to learn videography yourself, right? But you can learn it through another person while they're doing it for you. And then, now you both know it. You could do double it if you want to, like, because in the time that you're supposed to be doing that videography, you could have been doing something else to get you more clients. But instead, you're worrying about something that doesn't matter at the point where you're at now. You have so many connections. You have so many celebrity photos that you already taken. You should be focused on using that to get you more clients, but you're worried about videography, something that you're probably not even going to do once you get the money to do what you gotta do. And this is what I'm saying. When it comes to the ego, we start to be like, oh, I want to do this first. I always say, keep your fingers in everything that's in your company. Even if you get an outside source, or if you have another partner, or you have something that allows you to give the task to someone else, keep your fingers in it. Always know what's going on. That's it. You don't have to, if everything is going smooth, cool. If everything is going down, at least you know. Because then you leave it up to other people and you really want to, right? But sometimes people just don't see what you see. So all you have to do is keep your fingers in it. Just know what's going on. That's it. When it comes to a lot of companies, it's like there's a lot of left leaning tactics. Like some people, they just don't do it at all, and then they kind of regret it because they're like, dang, if I just knew what was going on, then this wouldn't have happened. Then some people just want to control everything to say that they did it themselves. And it's like, we are all here together because there's, I don't know how many billion people in this world. I think it's 6 billion. I don't really know. There's this many billion people in this world, so we can help each other. Like, and you think like a whole company be consistent of 50 to 200 people, and that's on the smaller end. Companies consist of thousands of people. Why? Because it's pieces to an ecosystem. I know one person can't do 1,000 people's jobs, can they? Okay. So why are we doing this to ourselves? And it's just like, I always see black people do this, but then other races work together. Why is that? Because we've been quote unquote taught that it's just not worth trying to even look for community because we don't even help each other. It's just crazy. It kind of jumped from one thing to one thing, but I hope you get it, because if you know, you know. But yeah, I just think ego affects a lot of things, not only in business but relationships too. But the thing is, we can fix it ourselves. You know that. Like, we can fix it. We don't have to feed into it every time. There's things that we can allow other people to do it to help us. I am still learning this because, unfortunately, when it comes to even people around you, people will make you feel like you can't speak to them. Even if you try to, it's like a problem, or like, I get it. I fully get it. But when it comes to that, you have to be conscious. Like, just so what if somebody made you feel that way? If another person comes in and they're asking you and they're telling you you can help, they can help you, take the help. I do need to take that advice myself. However, I'm sharing it because I know it. Okay. But yeah. Ego is very funny. Because if you really look at the goals of everyone else, of like the broader goal, you really don't want what you think you want. And shout out to Eddie, I realized that from him because he's been like asking himself what he really wants out of life. Because, you know, as young people, we sort of like, sometimes we think we know what we want. But in reality, we were just kind of going with the flow of what other people wanted. And then you finally like open your eyes and you're like, wait, I've built all this stuff, but is this really what I wanted? Did I want to be behind the desk all this whole time? Or did I do it because I wanted to be able to have the freedom to do what I wanted? And most of us just want the freedom to do what we want to do because we realize there's so much in this world that we still have not done. And we probably will never do. So I think, yeah, just ask yourself what you want. Drop the ego and allow this to help you so you could get to what you want faster. And that's the resistance that we all have. When it comes to like manifestation. And even just like, say you're drinking liquor or you're smoking, you do these things to break the resistance that you naturally have in life, to get looser, to have fun. And it's a social thing and a community thing that most people do, so you could like bond with that. But you do these things so you can have fun and you can get loose. It's the same thing as business and life, because when it comes to that, there's resistors, invisible resistors that we don't see, that stop us, like wanting to be independent and just doing these things that don't get us to the goal quick enough. And the people you see get to the goal quick enough, they have no resistance. That's it. They're not really that different. They can have the great ideas. Half of these businesses are fucking trash. They're ass. You literally look at them and they don't have that je ne sais quoi. And why do creative people, like a lot of creative people, not get to the point that these basic brands do? Because the je ne sais quoi creates resistance in some people. And then once that resistance becomes a pattern, you're consistently doing things that push you further and further away from the goals, versus taking out the blockers and resistors and sliding on into them goals. Okay, that's it.